Okay, now that was a little bit sketchy. I just got notification on my Alexa that there was a package delivered, but I went to my door and nothing was there. I checked my mailbox, nothing there. And sometimes they put it in front of my garage door for whatever reason, even though it's a smaller package, but it wasn't there. So I actually had to go down house to house on my street here and check on people's doorsteps and a couple mailboxes, which looked really sketchy. I didn't really want to be accused of being a porch pirate, so when I did find it, it was sitting on their doorstep on the ground, and I rang the doorbell and pounded on the door, but nobody came to the door. So I did pick it up and walk away. Hopefully nobody saw that. It looked a little sketchy, although it's legit. It is mine. It's got my name on it, and it actually has this address. So for whatever reason, I don't know what that guy was smoking that delivered it, but it happens, right? Anyway, I've got my package. So let's open this up and have a look. Open this guy up. There we go, power to wise. 3.5-inch jack. 6.5 foot mic cord and a 6.5 foot extension cord, rotating clip, lavalier microphone. Okay, so let's open this up. Looks like we got a little bag. It's like a neoprene bag, I guess. Take that off. Okay, let's open this up. Okay, that's our extension. It's got nice little Velcro straps there. What do we got here? A little adapter. Two replacement little foam thingies, and the mic itself. It's packaged up pretty nice. The cables seem to be pretty decent quality. Connector looks nice and solid. Yeah. No, definitely this mic is a fair amount bigger than the Sennheiser ME2, but it's still a lav mic. It might be a little harder to hide this, but I don't think we're going to have much issues. I think it'll be fine. Okay, so one of the reasons why I wanted this mic is because this more expensive option, my Sennheiser ME2 with the wireless setup, doesn't actually work at all with my cell phone, plugged in directly or through the wireless system. And the camera only works if I run it through the wireless setup, probably something to do with the preamps. So it looks like if this works, this is great because it's a cheaper option. It's actually going to be easier to just plug directly in my camera or plug in the cell phone and actually have something work with a lapel mic. This whole you get what you pay for isn't always the case, depending on what you're trying to do. So the other thing we're going to do is we want to do some tests against this mic just to see where it fares. I mean, I'm sure this is still better, but if it's anywhere in the ballpark, then this might be a really good solution for myself and you out there watching. And for any of you out there who have the Rode Video Micro and are quite happy with the sound like I am, we'll do a test against that as well. Okay. Check, check. Actually, this is really cool. Normally what I had to do before is my audio would only go into the left or the right side. Now it's feeding audio into both with this adapter, I guess. So that's actually one step less that I have to do in post-production. So that's kind of cool. So I guess we're going to hear how this sounds overall. Hopefully the sound quality is pretty decent. I'm just going to babble here for a second just so that we get a good test of the audio when testing out this power device lapel mic, lavalier microphone. And We're going directly into my Lumix G7 camera, very similar to the G85, except without image stabilization built in. It's totally not the point of this video, but I thought I'd throw in some extra dialogue there just so you can hear how this sounds. Now let's switch over to the Sennheiser ME2. Okay, now this is with the Sennheiser ME2, and this by default just goes into the left speaker, so I'm going to do an adjustment for that in post so that we're listening to the same thing. And let's just hear how the ME2 sounds going through the wireless system. Not that the wireless aspect of it is necessarily changing the sound too much, but I guess there is a preamp it's going through there, so that might increase or decrease the quality there. It might not be a fair comparison to have a $600 setup compared to a $21 setup, but it's still a good comparison to see the differences and to see if it's worth going to a $21 mic for your setup and avoiding all this excess of connecting a wireless setup. Now, don't get me wrong, the wireless setup is great when you need it, but when you don't, it's actually extra work. So this is great if the Power-to-Wise will work out well for reducing the workload. I'm going to switch back to the Power-to-Wise here for a second. Okay, check 1, 2. I'm just checking to see how the Power-to-Wise compares to the Sennheiser ME2. You just heard the ME2. And now we're listening to the Power-to-Wise. In post, I will adjust the volume levels to make it a fair comparison. I won't be doing any kind of post-production EQing or compression, although this signal seems to be a little hotter coming out of the Power-to-Wise, so I feel that it's probably going to be automatically attenuated or compressed in the camera. Because I believe these cameras do that, and your cell phone definitely does that. So you get a little more of a compressed sound, a more in-your-face sound, possibly, than the Sennheiser, which has audio adjustments both in the transmitter and the receiver and in the camera. We have audio adjustments there for input levels. You don't normally have that in a cell phone. There are apps, there's maybe 1 or 2 apps out there that I've heard about where you can actually adjust the mic level gain. But the default apps generally do not have any control over audio input levels because it does it on its own, thereby creating a little bit of a compressed sound. Sometimes that's not a nice sound. I would love to have controls. So hopefully in the future they will modify that in the default apps and give us the option to control audio volume. But, well, maybe. I mean, there is a lot of manual controls that they're now finally listening to end users and giving us manual controls for a video. It just hasn't reached the audio input level yet for whatever reason, but it would be a good upgrade if you're listening Samsung, Apple, Sony, the rest of you. Anyway, I'm going to switch over now to the Rode Video Micro, and we'll get a little quick listen of that. Okay, so I'm on the Rode Video Micro now. It's interesting because you don't need an adapter for that one. I guess it's built specifically to plug into these kind of cameras. So it does work on here. It actually works on my cell phone as well. But anyway, it's a little bit of an unfair comparison. Not really, because it's not made as a lapel mic. I'm about 2 feet probably from the microphone now, which is mounted on the hot shoe connection on the top of the camera. So that's actually how we would normally use it, right? So I guess it is a fair comparison to see how the sound is there. Now, it is a directional mic, so it's supposed to cut out a lot of the ambient tone, but I'm pretty close to a wall here, so we might be getting a little bit of reverb echo there, but it's the same test as I just did with the Power-to-Wise and with the ME2, so I think that's kind of fair. I'm just yapping along here to make sure that you're getting enough dialogue to give your ears a good test between the different microphones. And I will switch back to the Power-to-Wise one more time before we wrap up this video. Okay, so we're back with the Power-to-Wise now. So let me know in the comments which one you think sounded better. Also, regardless of which one you thought sounded better, was it close? Was it way off? Did you like the Sennheiser better? Do you get what you pay for? Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I hope it was informative. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. It helps out the channel. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.